Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 7 of our Little by Little May Art Challenge. We are just going to be using black for this painting today. I'm going to do a nighttime landscape scene, and to start off, we're going to tape off and I'm going to attempt to make this a very quick painting today so that we can all have kind of a quick win on this Friday. And I've just got a very wet brush and a little bit of black just so we can all see where the water is going here. I'm just wetting our background, and there's no puddles. It's just a nice wash of water and paint. I do like to clean up my tape edges just because it can get a little messy. And while that's still wet, I'm going to come in with a lot of black on my brush, and I'm going to start up here. I want the top to be the darkest, and we're going to do a gradient all the way down to the bottom. And I am going to darken the top a little bit more. And because this is all wet, I'm going to stop here. And because this is all wet, it will blend, so it's not going to look so much like a stripe there. If you're like, ooh, I don't want that mid portion to be as dark, you can clean off your brush. You can kind of twist it onto your paper towel to dry it, and then you can lift some of the color out of there. You just want it to be a little less dark in the middle or wherever. Now, I want to add a moon to mine. There's a few ways you can do this. One, you can just leave a white spot to begin with, but I find that difficult. You got to paint around it. You could add bleed-proof white if you'd like, but if you don't have that, just tear off a little bit of paper towel, and I'm just going to bunch it up here. We're not going to go for a perfect circle, but I'm just going to bunch it up like that, and I'm just going to tap in my moon here. Just put it wherever you'd like. I would say one side or the other because we're not trying to have a moon right in the center. Just for composition, it looks nicer to have it off to one side or the other. And just dab it in there. It does not have to be perfect, like I said. We're just going for the basic idea of a moon being in our little scene here. And if you don't like the shape that it ends up being, just get a damp brush. So I've got water on this brush. I'm going to just tap it onto my paper towel to dry it. And then you can just gently shape it if you would like. If you would like to just shape the edges a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it, and we're going to let this dry. For that wash, I was using a very large brush, size 16, just to get it on there quickly. Now I'm going to move to my size 6 round brush to paint in some trees. And so I'm putting black on my brush again, more color than water, so that it's nice and bold. And we're just going to play. If you want pine trees, you can do that. Otherwise, let's just put a nice big, I got too much water. Let's just put a nice big tree in here. It does not have to be any particular shape. We're just going to dab a tree in here, and we're going to go from there. We're going to try not to overthink the shape of the tree because we're just dabbing in, and we can always add more later. Now for the trunk of the tree, I'm going to use the tip of my brush. I'm just going to dip that into my black. I'm just going to bring it down. Just gives it a nice rough look. I'm trying to do it very slowly because you don't want a big situation here. So we just want it to look nice and rough. And we're going to add some more leaves now that our trunk is in. Bring them down a little bit more here. We're just dabbing. We're not, I know people are intimidated by trees sometimes, and you just want to dab. We're just dabbing a shape. If you want to do pine trees, you can just dab a triangle. But we're just dabbing a little tree shape, which can mean so many things because Trees have so many different shapes. So you can't go wrong in my mind. You just can't go wrong. And I just want a few more leaves. I want to bring them down even more here. There we go. And let's just do some more leafy trees. I have no clue what these are, but let's just do one that's more of a, what do you call it? Ovally shaped tree. And we'll get our trunk put in there. Just staying nice and loose. And then just dab, dab, dab to your heart's content. And let's do one more. And just so you know, I'm not speeding this video up at all. I do that sometimes, but here I'm just quickly dabbing in the leaves. Let these two kind of run together. Lots of repetition in this painting again, which again is just very helpful as we practice trees or flowers or whatever it may be. All right, these are all dry. I am, just to add a little bit of dimension, I'm going to add some darker spots in here. We're going to leave kind of wherever the moon might be touching, we're going to leave that lighter. We'll just add some darker black in here, kind of indicating where some shadows might be, maybe underneath here too. Same for these guys. I'm just encouraging you to play. You know, I've never done this landscape before, so I'm just playing too. And we're just gonna have fun. Okay. Painting more in May, and some days I'm kind of like, wow, I've really gotten in over my head here because, like I've told you probably way too many times, I have a full-time job and other responsibilities as well. But here we are. Now, perhaps you're looking at this and thinking, Carrie, why are the trunks light on this side if the moon is behind them? Well, I don't know. We're going to use our imagination. Maybe there's a campground right there, and the lights from people's campers and cars are shining on the trees. I don't know. If you would like them black, then I think you should paint them black. I just like the interest that the varying colors in the trunk give. And maybe that's better for a daytime painting. It's all good. We're just experimenting. And still just tweaking here, adding some dark. There we go, and we'll just leave it for now to dry. And we could finish right here. I decided just to add a little bit of the ground here by the trees. So, and you can make it look like, you know, just grass or bushes or dirt or whatever you want. I'm starting just low here, and we'll see. I'll just kind of step back and see if I want to add anything else. I think I'm just going to keep it simple and leave it like this. And we will let this dry and then remove the tape and see what we've got. I'm tempted to add stars in the sky, but I'm also thinking, no, you wanted this to be fast and simple, and that's what we're doing here. And I think we achieved that. We'll go ahead and sign it. And there she is, a very easy nighttime landscape. Let me know if you give it a try. And remember, I'm just painting on weekdays for this challenge. And so I hope that I will see you back on Monday for day 8. Until then, take care.